to going beyond the headlines and focus on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
First hard fact of the day, 31 confirmed COVID cases yesterday. It's less than half as many cases as Monday. Only 3 states on that list. Lagos had the most cases, followed by Rivers and then the FCT. But even though numbers are low, we have to keep taking our precautions. A friend of mine came into the country yesterday, and he was telling me this story about 5 people who tested COVID positive off of one flight this week, and all of them were coming in from India. They somehow joined via Qatar, so that means that you have to do your best, man. You have to keep wearing that mask. You have to take care of yourself, do all the things that is required for you to prevent getting this disease. You know what I mean? So wash your hands, wear a mask, maintain your distance from people, sanitize your hands. Don't go out unless it's absolutely necessary. And that way you can keep yourself and you can keep the people you care about safe. 1 million Lagosians cannot be wrong. They know where to come for hard facts. Every single day, right here, 3 o'clock. Let's start with the big 3. We'll talk about the Kaduna State Government sacking striking nurses. Then we will talk about the Lagos State Government rolling out the new FLM buses. And then let's talk about the bill in the House of Reps to impeach presidents who don't nominate ministers on time. On today's Glass Ceiling, we're going to talk about how parenting affects gender equality. I'm looking forward to that conversation with you. We started it last week, and it was really, really good. Today is Wednesday, so Balogun and Broad makes a return. We're going to talk about investment scams. My guests will be showing you how to detect and avoid investment scams. If you missed it last week, today's a good day to be here. 5 p.m., that's when that conversation starts. News updates, as always, will come your way at the top of every hour. If you want to win on just a minute, you have to listen to every single thing I say on this show. That's how to win, huh? But with that said, Lagos, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Is it legal for the Kaduna State Government to sack striking nurses? Should the Lagos State Government have banned Okada and Kekes before the FLM buses were ready? And should presidents be impeached for failing to nominate ministers on time within a month? Those are the big 3. Lagos, let's talk. Our first story takes us to Kaduna. I told you yesterday how Governor El-Rufai has declared the NLC leadership wanted, including the national president, right? That's Ayuba Waba. El-Rufai has accused them of economic sabotage. Waba dared the governor to arrest him. He actually led a march yesterday, and during the march, he said, quote, "Let him come and arrest me. It is not about me. We're here. We're waiting for them," end quote. There were other protests around the state as well. By all accounts, the protesters themselves were peaceful, but then armed thugs attacked them. We have reports of thugs stoning the protesters, attacking them with sticks and machetes before the police intervened with tear gas. And now Nupeng has condemned the attack. Nupeng is threatening a nationwide strike. Oil Workers Union is holding the Kaduna State Government responsible for the attacks because of El-Rufai's comments. And they've said that their members nationwide were on alert or are on alert. If there's any more violence against the striking workers, Nupeng will shut down all oil and gas operations of the nation. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to make good on that threat because, just when I was reading the news at 3 o'clock, I told you that the office of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Kaduna was attacked, invaded by armed thugs who were numbering about 100. Imagine that. The office is where the meeting of workers in the state happens. And these are the workers who are protesting the sack of their colleagues. And that same office now where thugs come attack. So it's all very interesting, to say the least. It's all really interesting. But let's go back to this matter of economic sabotage, shall we? Let's go back to this matter a little bit. You have El Rufai going into more detail about what he means yesterday. He says, for example, the shutdown of power supply in the state. Electricity workers joined the strike, so no electricity in the state. Now, I want to ask you what you think about that. Is it economic sabotage for power workers to go on a 5-day strike and switch off distribution? Do you think it's economic sabotage? 0700-993-993-993 for men. For women, 014657190. Now, the governor has also sacked nurses. He announced that all nurses in service at level GL14 and lower have been dismissed for taking part in the strike. The government will use the money meant for their salaries to pay allowances for doctors and other medical workers who did not go on strike. Now, of course, there are questions about the legality of this sacking. The courts have in the past upheld the right to strike. So the question is, can a government legally sack civil servants for going on strike? You may also be asking, how does the government plan to replace these nurses? Because they just fired most nurses in the service. And yesterday, the Ministry of Health says, we're going to announce vacancies. So the question then becomes, will the state government be able to attract nurses from the private sector? Will they be able to pay salaries that attract these nurses? Will potential applicants feel like there's enough job security? I mean, all of this is happening because the government announced that it's going to be laying off thousands of workers, right? Because they cannot afford to pay thousands of workers, right? If you were a nurse in the private sector, would you be tempted to join the Kaduna Civil Service right now? Meanwhile, APC governors are asking El Rufai to take a softer approach. They gave a statement through the Progressive Governors Forum, or PGF, asking Governor El Rufai to come to the negotiating table with the NLC. So that's the latest from Kaduna. Now, Lagos, tell me what you think. Do you agree with El Rufai that the strike is economic sabotage? Is it economic sabotage for people who work at electricity distribution organizations to go on strike and not give you power supply while they are on strike? Is that economic sabotage? If you're a businesswoman or businessman, or you own a business, you know how important electricity is. Do you think it's economic sabotage? Or do you agree with the labor unions that strikes only work if they are inconvenient? And that's the entire point. What do you think about the government sacking all nurses at level 14 and below? Do you think that private sector nurses will be willing to take the newly vacant jobs? I mean, we've got, 40% unemployment, so you'll probably have people running to go and take those jobs. But do you think if you were a nurse in the private sector, would you take up a job in Kaduna at the moment, the Kaduna Civil Service at the moment? And what do you think about the attacks on protesters and Nupeng's ultimatum? Do you agree with the Progressives Governors Forum that their colleague El Rufai should negotiate with the NLC? Women call me on 014657190. Men call me on 0700-993-993-993. We've got Patrick first up. Patrick is in Amuodofing. Hello, Patrick.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Patrick, and I just want to make a little contribution. I've been trying the other program. You see, we that we are of Christian faith, we were told, speak the truth, for only the truth can set you free. One thing I found out about APC government is impunity. This same Rufai, did he never protest during the government of Jonathan? Was there any time talks attacked them? Then why are we like this? Now he's hiring talks to attack people who are protesting about some wicked policy meted out to them. We are where we are today. Look at the bandits. It's the same issue of always inviting talks to counter any movement by the public. And now it is also still happening right now. He pays talks. And a very
Well, you
sad
can't
part of
prove
it.
that he paid thugs. We just know
Who
that
paid
thugs
thugs?
attacked
Who
them.
paid
We
thugs?
don't
Who
know. We
invited
don't know.
thugs?
But in the
Because
meantime, we can't accuse the government
this
because
is
we
the
don't have
problem
proof.
we are having in the country. We're always asking for evidence, and things keep going wrong.
Because you
Back to wrong.
cannot make an allegation without evidence.
That
You
is the
can be
thing. We
you
cannot
you
make
you
allegations.
exactly
We
because
think
you're
they somehow
liable,
do
and when
do.
I allow you make the accusation, I become liable as well.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let us keep on. We are playing hide and seek game. I will see where it leads us. Why are you sacking people? The same government promised that they will create, is it 3,000 or 3 million every year? And now you are sacking. So why are you speaking from both sides of your mouth? So how can you trust this government? How can anybody in right senses trust this government? Well, I don't know what to say. Let us keep on that thing, but I always remember one word from a reggae legend, late Bob Marley. He said, when the rain falls, it don't fall on one man's roof. This country will collapse on all our heads.
It will not collapse, Patrick. Let's speak positively about our nation that we all love. Thank you very much for calling. We've got Ufoma on the line. Hello, Ufoma. Welcome.
Thank you, Sandra. Straight to your question. I think that El-Rufai is a problem to Kaduna State.
Okay.
Since first time, there is no argument about the state. It is number one problem. So let's see what.
Oh no, Ufoma, sorry, call back if you can. All right, Lagos, let's keep talking. Women, call me on 014657190. I actually really want to hear from women on this. 014657190. Hello, thank you very much for calling.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you? What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Akigbe.
Welcome.
Yeah, good administration on the top of the hem of affairs bring efficiency to the every environment. The same thing with family. When the parents or children are bad, the children are bad to revoke until they find their level and they will scatter. So the same thing with El-Rufai. There has been a social problem against the Kaduna people. You know, when a thief want to catch a fowl, they throw corn to them until the fowl enter house, following the corn to eat it. The same thing applied to El-Rufai. El-Rufai went on a rampage during Jonathan reign. He knows that. Can he deny that? And then you will have the law that you have the right to protest. Now, why sending the bandage? Okay, whom are they protesting against? Is it not El-Rufai, which is bad administration? So is it me now in Lagos we go and send bandage to them? I learned that the bandage have been arrested, so they should be sensibly, ask them to explain, or they should investigate the matter in detail. And then if Nigeria cannot handle it, UN will be the one to handle it. They will send somebody to us to come and delegate over the matter. Because from the way I'm looking at this now, the President Buhari is not ready to do anything. Because he's supposed to have stopped that sack. Why will you sack people that are working? You sacked many teachers the other day. Then the number of teachers that were sacked and the one that were replaced, the replaced one that just few. According to the revealer, according to the people who made the report. And then those people that were sacked, you throw them into labor market, the teachers. And then again now, government worker, don't they have a way of investigating who is already out of the work? They have done that before. Then somebody finish investing, they just employ 3 people on the chair. He sacked so many during that time of the teacher saga. Now he wants to release all of them for their work. What kind of development does he want to give that no one has ever given in Kaduna State? And so this kind of a thing, they should even examine his brain, whether he has run mental. Because the ordinary man normal man can't do this. So the brain is overheated with a power drunk. So he should be arrested and taken to psychiatric hospital.
Now what? All right, thank you for calling. Hello, thank you for calling. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the show. Good afternoon. What's your name? Okay, I don't think she can hear me. 99.3. Hello.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Oh, yeah.
Onyinye, welcome. Go ahead.
Now, El-Rufai downsizing. Let me say this. How much does each of the senators go home with? Why would he not look to that direction?
Well, he's not in charge of the senator's salary. He's in charge of his state.
Please, the steps he's taking now, I pray it does not snowball to the whole nation. Come next week, let him have a second thought.
Okay.
That's my suggestion, yes.
Oyinye, thank you very much. I mean, some people have said that what El-Rufai is doing needs to be done, that the size of government is too large, the size of the civil service, a largely unproductive civil service, is illogically large. And so some even have commendations for what he's attempting to do in Kaduna State. What a lot of people have a problem with is the method with which he has chosen to do it. Some people have said, well, you cannot retrench all of these people at the same time. Some people have said, well, what about buying out their contracts? You could buy out their contracts. Some have said, well, you can let them go in bits and pieces instead of this large sweeping thing that you've done, And then you fast forward to now where you've got the strike action happening, and then he's doing punitive things like firing all the level 14 and under nurses, accusing NLC of economic sabotage. All of that is contributing to what people are calling high-handed. A situation where you have even the governors in his camp, the APC, the Progressive Governors Forum, coming out to say, sir, you have to, take a softer approach with what you're doing. You have to negotiate with the NLC. And so that's the conversation we're having. Do you agree with El-Rufai that this strike is economic sabotage? Because he mentions that the power distribution company in Kaduna shut down, and people will not have light for the 5 days that they plan to be on this strike. Or do you agree with the economic unions, the labor unions, that strikes are supposed to be inconvenient? Kind of sounds like what NSAS protesters were saying there, Nabi, when they were blocking Lekki toll gate. Sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Susan is in Lekki. Hello, Susan.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. My contribution, is about this El-Rufai issue. I think this government has this knack for creating unnecessary hardship on people. It's the same governor that we had sacked so many teachers, employed some teachers that he has not been able to pay. I know people that are serving in that state as new teachers months. He has not paid them. Now he's threatening, or he has sacked some nurses saying he's going to employ other nurses. Who is he going to, which money, where is the money that he wants to use to pay them, that he cannot pay those that are asking for their rights now? I mean, the state has enough trouble already. Imagine the insecurity in Kaduna State, the issue that people are passing through, the hardship. People are kidnapped daily. People are suffering in that state. And this man, he doesn't, blink his eyes when he wants to inflict the suffering on people. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. El-Rufai is not a good governor. If you are a good leader, you should be able to sit down with your people and talk to them. He's so full of himself. I mean, this man is power drunk. That's all I can say about him.
Susan.
I pray that you finish this thing well.
Susan, thank you very much for calling. We'll take a final call, and then we will probably have to take a break, or I can go to WhatsApp and Twitter and see the comments you have for me there. 99.3, hello.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Mr. Frank from Ojo Alaba.
Welcome, Mr. Frank.
Yeah, some people are talking about Governor El-Rufai. I want to talk about Governor Sanwo-Olu.
Okay.
I don't know what is wrong with these APC governors. This one now is attacking thousands of workers now in Kaduna State. Then Governor Sanwo-Olu wants to to stop ban Okada and Keke Marwa? Why he knows that this is the major source that why people are eating in this Lagos? Do you know thousands of Keke Marwa that is in this Lagos? Thousands and millions of Okadas. If he banned them now, did he have any other word that he's going to give them? So many people are importing these cycles. So many people are selling them. So many people are driving them. So many people are selling the tickets. So many people are doing the mechanics. So many people are selling the spare parts. Slowly to ban the people driving it, it is going to involve many people. Is he going to contain all the whole people that is going to involve? He tries to ban all these things. Let these people try to help us now. What is the meaning of APC itself? Let us know the meaning of APC. And which kind of government are they? Which kind of God are they having? Are they not human beings? Do they not have blood running on their veins? Thank you. Let me not go far.
Frank, thank you very much for calling. On Facebook, we've got Aniedi Udo who says, Sandra, this is laughable for a government that promised more jobs for its people. They're now laying off 7,000 workers at a go. It's very clear that we have more comedians in this government than technocrats. God help the masses. Well, again, I should say that APC National promised those jobs. I think because of how very centered the political power in Nigeria is, people forget that what the states do isn't exactly the business of the center. The states are in charge of their state. And as the person in charge of his state, El Rufai has said, well, this is what my state needs to do so that we can get other things done. The cost of governance is being gulped entirely by the civil service, and the state government has to be able to do more than just pay salaries of civil servants. We want to do more for the state, and we cannot do more for the state if we have all of these people working for the state. Some people could even argue that the reason that they are not able to pay the salaries of the teachers or the public servants that they had in their employ was because the size of a civil servant was much more than the money that the state was making. Now, I'm not holding brief for the government because they're about to accuse me now of speaking for the government. I'm just giving you all sides of the argument. Now, we've got comments on Facebook. Rob Cosmos says that El Rufai was in the same situation when President Jonathan was on board. Now he doesn't like the bitter pill. And then Rob Cosmos from Texas says El Rufai is not tough, in my opinion. Rob Cosmos, thank you for your message. We'll take a break.
One ever asked you for your banking app password or PIN, your card PIN, or the 3 numbers on the back of your card, your pay ID, or answers to your security questions? Do not give it to them. These details are
the perfect escape from the frenzy of everyday life? Lekki Leisure provides an astonishing view of the Atlantic Ocean with premium beach services, children's play area, private cabanas, quad bikes, beach soccer, volleyball, and much more. We are the right fun place for you. Our unique event spaces have impressive views of the ocean and city and are suited ideally for all your event purposes. Try our special Sunday buffet for amazing sizzling hot Chinese delicacies. Thursday night karaoke with complimentary drinks for the ladies. Make these unforgettable memories at our premium private beach located at Adekunle Animashaun Drive, Okunde Water Tourism Scheme, Lekki, Lagos. For more information, please call 0817-194-7130 or send an email to l3hubinfo@gmail.com. Lekki Leisure. Live more.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and we started the conversation with Kaduna State, where Governor El Rufai has declared the NLC leadership wanted for economic sabotage. Waba dared the governor to arrest him, saying, "Let him come and arrest me. It's not about me. We're here waiting for them." Protests happened yesterday. Today, thugs attacked the NLC headquarters, same way that thugs attacked the protesters yesterday. Now, Nupeng has condemned the attack and they're threatening a nationwide strike. They're saying if the protesters are attacked one more time, that they're going to go on strike. And I'm asking what's going to happen now that the headquarters has been attacked today. And then you come back to El Rufai, who says that if you have a shutdown of power supply in the state because electricity workers join the strike, that is economic sabotage. And I'm asking if you agree with that. You also have the governor sacking nurses. He announced that all nurses in service at level GL14 and lower have been dismissed because they took part in the strike. And then to replace them, the health ministry is going to announce vacancies. So one of the questions I was asking is if you think they'll be able to pay salaries that attract the nurses. Do you think potential applicants will feel like there's enough job security? Because all of this is happening because the government announced that it will be laying off thousands of workers, right? Okay. Well, it's 3:30. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we start the show every day with three of the biggest stories of the day. Here's a second big story. Lagos State Government has officially launched the first and last mile bus program to replace Okada and Keke. I told you last week that Governor Sanwo-Olu was planning to roll out the first micro buses this week, and it happened yesterday. The government unveiled 500 buses out of the proposed 5,000. These buses can sit between 7 and 13 passengers. By the way, the buses are being assembled here in Lagos. So the government is saying that the remaining 4,500 will enter service in waves as the local assembly plants put them together. I like that. I like that they're being assembled here in Lagos. So these buses are to replace Okada and Keke. Here's what Governor Sanwo-Olu said about that at the launch. He said, quote, "The restriction of motorcycles and tricycles in the 6 local councils and 9 local council development areas created a mobility gap which was required to be filled urgently. Thus, the FLM scheme became imperative within the areas where commercial motorcycles and tricycles had been restricted." End quote. So the governor is admitting that banning Okada and Keke created a, quote, mobility gap. In simple English, that means the ban made people trek. And the governor is acknowledging that this was not an ideal situation. It's reminding me, I wonder if you remember when the Okada ban first happened and some of you called me to defend it and you were saying, what's wrong with people having to trek? Our forefathers trekked. Well, the governor is saying that something is wrong with people having to trek from their houses to the BRT routes. But back to Governor Sanwo-Olu's comment. The restriction was put in place at the start of 2020. So for more than 1 year, people have been forced to either trek or find some alternatives. Now the question is, would it not have been possible to bring these FLM buses before the ban so that people wouldn't have needed to trek for 1 year? Could the ban not have been delayed and the FLM rollout sped up to avoid a mobility gap or at least reduce its duration? I'm going to need you to answer that for me. But let's talk a bit about how this program will work, this FLM program. First of all, it's a public-private partnership. Private investors can buy the buses if they bring 20% down payment. The state government will provide the 80% balance for them, and then they can pay the government back in installments over 3 years. And the revenue collection is going to be centralized. No cash payments on the buses. Instead, Passengers will pay using Cowrie Travel Card, which is already used in BRTs. I had to go and learn about them after somebody complained about the cards not working on the show. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So at the end of the month, all the private operators will get their revenue based on activities on the routes. And I wonder if you think that this can work. Do you think that government can get all public transport users in the state to adopt the Cowrie card, the Cowrie Travel Card? Women, call me on 014657190. Men, call me on 0700-993-993-993. Do you think that this over 1 year delay between the Okada ban and the bus rollout was necessary? Do you think it was necessary? The governor says the mobility gap was a bad thing. Should it have been avoided by delaying the Okada and the Keke ban until the buses were ready? And what do you think about the PPP plan? What do you think about the plan to use Cowrie Travel Card? Do you think it's feasible? And yes, you can still talk about Kaduna when you give us a call. 0700-993-993-993, 01465-7190. One of those numbers for men, the other one for women. Joseph in Ojo, hello. Thank you for calling us. Hello, Joseph.
Hello,
Thank you for
Sandra.
calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
I just want to contribute on Kaduna State Governor's action.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
You see, when you are looking on to all this that is happening in Nigeria here, it's now shown that we are witnessing what that the Bible have already let us know in the beginning, that the time of Antichrist is coming. This is just signs of Antichrist.
Oh, God. So now the governor of Kaduna State is the Antichrist?
It's an Antichrist.
Oh, please.
Somebody who cannot have the feeling of the people. You just wake up one morning and decide to sack workers without even thinking what they will do after. Knowing the peculiar situation of the country now, and you feel this is the best way just to act because you are a governor. You live in a very luxurious
You can disagree with a person's policies without calling them names, and I think it's rude to call him the Antichrist. You need to apologize for that.
Sorry
apologize
for that.
and take it back.
I am sorry for that.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Okay, but let us be frank with ourselves.
Okay.
What they are doing now is inhuman. Do you know the population, the amount of 7,000? Put the 7,000 on the street, you get here. What you will get is not what it will not be what you expect as a person. This is men, women with families, even relying on that little thing to survive. You know fully well that what they are getting will not even survive them for the month. You said you want to cut cost of governance, and it's from these vulnerable people you will cut the governance. You cut the cost of governance in the state, and all the commissioners are there. Even some of them are even earning salaries for their families. Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening. Mm-hmm.
Some of them are even earning salary from the state port. They are even paying unknown people. Like what is they just the people that attacked those labor people yesterday, the labor university.
Okay.
Nobody will exonerate those government officials. After all, if government did not act directly, they will act indirectly. It's one of their sympathizers.
Okay.
That might have gone that way through the government support. We may not be saying, we will be saying, let us have a fight before we say something. They cannot just rise because what are their benefits? To come and disrupt striking workers. What are their benefits? The protesting workers. What are their benefits? If not one of them who have already taken it as a job that hired those people.
Okay.
Those who has nothing to do. That's what I'm telling you. We are just living in this country on pretense.
Joseph, thank you very much for calling. Okay. All right, then. WhatsApp is available, by the way. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Let's talk to Joy. Hello, Joy. Thank you very much for calling us.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling in respect of what's happening in Kaduna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll blame Rufai to an extent because when he was vying for that position, I don't think he came in this arrogant manner, or else the people would have not voted him in super, So now that he's there, he appears to have forgotten that these are the people that voted him there to be their voice. And if that is disgruntled, the best way to go about it is not to, shut them up. It's like beating a child and asking the child not to cry. For them to go on strike, they have issues they are not happy with. So he should call them for discussion. Apparently, he feels whatever he's doing is right, and that may have angered him that these people are being insensitive. That's the only thing that may make him to be this high-handed. But then he should now call on other people. There must be a truth, because they are things like the fight of the Titans. Every party now is showing their powers. And, well, he's the number one man in the state there. So he's actually more powerful. And he can't kill those people. He just has to find a way to, tap his qualities of a leader and then stoop low, come down and call these people in. The Yoruba people say you beat a child with the right hand and you bring the child in with the left hand, or just like that. You should just find a way to swallow his pride, call them for a discussion and let them agree. This high-handedness will not lead him anywhere.
All right.
That's my view.
Troy, thank you very much for calling to share your view. Mohammed H. Zanto on Facebook says, what Malam Nasir El-Rufai is doing is the best way to follow. Just go to any local government and see the activities that is going on there. You'll see them peeling egusi, selling kunu, selling clothes, doing nothing. Mohammed Zanto, thank you for your message. Sheyi Bello says, in as much as there are no revenues to pay over bloated civil service, Governor El-Rufai's approach is too military and will cause further damage. I suggest he sits with the NLC to find middle ground. 500 buses out of 5,000 is just another way of paying political IOU. Simple. Governor Sanwo-Olu should have reviewed and worked with a more realistic transportation data. Sheyi Bello, thank you very much for your message on WhatsApp. Yes, I've moved from Facebook to WhatsApp now. Also on WhatsApp, David is in Enugu, and David says the federal government under President Obasanjo downsized over 35,000 civil servants in 2006. I happened to be among them, and we were not paid until 2009. But the NLC never protested. I will never allow my children to work with the civil service. David from Enugu, thank you for your message. Sandra, please help me tell El-Rufai to stop behaving like... All right, Willie from Jakande. I'm not going to read that message. We've got Victor from Ijegun who says, Nigeria has an over-bloated civil service. Federal civil servants below level 12 have been working from home since the advent of this pandemic, and their absence are not felt. It only indicates one thing: over-bloated service with duplicated agencies. The Orosanye report comes to mind here. I share the sentiment of El-Rufai in reducing the number of civil servants in his state. However, he lacks the emotional intelligence to carry out such a delicate thing. The business of governance is not I no go gree mindset. The man should call for dialogue in order to de-escalate this impending doom. It's the poor masses in Kaduna that are highly affected by this total shutdown of Kaduna. Victor from Ijegun, thank you very much for your message. We've got more messages on WhatsApp. You don't leave your name, but you say the actions of Kaduna State Government has clearly shown their insensitivity to the plight of the people. All right. Sandra, did you think banning Okada will solve the security problem, or the security problem will be worse more than before? Because what will the people riding the bike and Marwa will be doing for a living? That's a message from Tommy Nibwefon. Speaking of security problem, I'm getting multiple reports of increased robberies and kidnappings on the island now. You know, the Lekki area, Admiralty, Ozumbambadiwe in Victoria Island, Falomo as well. More and more people reporting that they were robbed, taken to an ATM, their money's taken. Some people reporting being kidnapped, a ransom being called in. I think that's if that's happening, it's something that needs to be nipped in the bud as soon as possible before it becomes a full-blown thing, right? Because we don't want that to start happening in Lagos. That cannot start happening in Lagos, you know. It simply can't. So if there's something that the security agents can do to end this now before it becomes a full-blown problem in Lagos, I mean, it's a full-blown problem all over the country. Robberies were already what people were dealing with in Lagos, but now you want to add kidnapping to the crimes happening in Lagos. It's something the police needs to get ahead of and get ahead of fast. We've got more messages on WhatsApp. I'll take one final one and then we can move on to our final story. I lost my job since the lockdown. Kate from Moe says, okay, that has nothing to do with the conversation we're having here, but thank you very much for your message. Chika says, please, people should commend El Rufai and also challenge the Labour to initiate strike over the bloated senators' salaries and several hardship it is bringing on Nigerians. All right, Chika, thank you for your message. Now let's bring you that final story. It's a good one. A president who cannot nominate ministers in the first 30 days may get impeached if a new bill passes. That's our third story. This bill has passed second reading in the House of Reps. The goal of the bill is to stabilize the transition process when a president is elected and sworn in. So first, the bill will set up a transition committee. This committee will supervise the entire process to make sure that the outgoing and incoming administrations are both doing everything that they're supposed to do. But here's the other part of the bill that is getting headlines. The bill sets a 30-day deadline for the president to appoint her cabinet. So that's from May 29th to June 30th. And the bill says that the president's failure to do so will be considered gross misconduct. Now, under Section 143 of the Constitution, gross misconduct is one of the grounds for impeaching a president. So basically, if this bill passes, if the National Assembly passes this bill, they will be able to impeach any president who doesn't nominate a full cabinet by June 30th after being sworn in. What do you think about it? Should it be impeachable? Should it be an impeachable offense for a president not to pick ministers in time? Toby Okechukwu thinks so. He's the House Deputy Minority Leader. And he said, quote, in 2015, we lost about 6 months due to the fact that our cabinet was formed by the president. It happened again in 2019. The opportunity cost is huge, end quote. Do you agree? Do you believe that delays in appointing ministers does serious damage to the country? Do you think it does serious enough damage to warrant impeachment? And the same question applies to states, because remember, we also have state governors who have taken months to nominate commissioners, right? Then let's talk about the timeline itself. Is 30 days too short? Is it too long? Is it just right? Because when you think about the fact that presidents are inaugurated at the end of May, but they get elected in February, it shows you that even before the swearing in, the president-elect has had about 3 months to think about who and who she wants as her ministers. We see in other countries that the presidents know their cabinet picks before they're sworn in, right? Back in 2019, I told you about Cyril Ramaphosa in South Africa, picking his cabinet ahead of time. We saw the same thing with Joe Biden in the USA at the end of last year. Same thing for, what's her name now? Theresa May in the UK. So is there something peculiar about Nigeria that makes this difficult or makes it impossible? Or do you think our leaders have, simply not pushed themselves? Do you think that this thing now, where they're now risking impeachment, will make her, sit up and pick her cabinet in time? Make them sit up and pick their cabinets in time. What do you think about this plan to make it impeachable? Women, call me on 01465-7190. Men, call me on 0700-993-993-993. Men, call me on 0700-993-993-993. Women, call me on 01465-7190. We've got Ezekiel in Ajah on the line. Hello, Ezekiel. Welcome.
Yep.
So we've got 3 stories. Which one do you want to talk about?
Yeah, Sandra, I want to talk about Herufai.
Okay.
Sandra,
Yeah.
either way man behaves, life remains life. And it is said that the only thing that is constant in life is change. You see, the human heart is deep and can never be fathomed by any human. You see, when we fail to tell ourselves the truth on a big platform or in a big platform like that of yours, there is no way we will not be getting backward. Let me tell you, Sandra, we have been living here for over 60 years as a so-called nation, and there is no going forward. Now, what is the essence of a government? Okay, we said democracy, the government of the people for the people, the government for the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, look at every of the actions of several of these governors. Does he have any element of humanity? Now, look at them putting cart before the horse, or putting the horse before the cart. That's to tell you that this guy has no vision. Now, look at the way people make contributions.
Which one's the cart and which one's the horse now?
Now, okay, look at when the government is saying that those would have been, give them an alternative of, let's say, going into agriculture. Is that what he said?
I didn't hear that because your voice is echoey.
Okay, can you get me now? Are you hearing me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, Sandra, are you justifying what that's done as a governor?
Am I what?
Are you justifying the action exhibited by him as a governor?
I'm not justifying anything. I'm asking you what you're saying.
Do you know there is a trend that portends a lot of danger on this local government?
Your voice is not very clear. It sounds like you're inside water. Maybe you should call us back, Ezekiel. 99.3. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Agwoma.
Welcome.
Talking about the RFI. Actually, the fear that I have with the RFI's action is that you remember that he is one of the handlers of Buhari's presidency.
Okay.
So this may just be the beginning of what's going to happen in Abuja. Having said that, it's also not wrong for an employer to fire the employees, but there are laws. And this law stipulates that you discuss with the union and also adopt the system of LIFO. That's LIPO.
Okay.
LIFO. That is last in, first out. Was that adopted? And secondly, you have to pay them all their entitlements. Those are the rules, and I think that is what the labor union are asking for. And secondly, he should not underestimate the status of Ayuba. Ayuba, I think, dwells as the international labor president, not only that of Nigeria. So it will go a long way. Any maltreatment, any action against NLC is by extension provoking the International Labour Organization because he is their boss too. Coming into Lagos, it's a good thing. We are in desperate need of sanitization as regards the insecurity we have in Lagos, and which have been attributed to Okada system and all these things. So,
but funny enough, the people who have been complaining about kidnapping complain that people in unmarked buses and unmarked sedans were the ones who came to pick up their loved ones.
When Lagos they roll out the buses, of course, it's not longer going to be unmarked. They will monitor it. But my fear is that each time this thing has happened, Lagos State has exploited the masses they are supposed to protect. You will recall when there was a ban on this Okada, they came up with a particular Okada that you have to buy from Lagos State, and that was very expensive. And they also came with helmets that you have to purchase helmet, and their helmet was so costly, and their Okada price was around 250,000, whereas you could have gotten same in the open market at the price of 150,000. You can imagine that. So now, if this thing is allowed to continue as they have projected, and the milk, instead of protecting and providing for Lagosians, they end up milking them. That will not receive a warm welcome for the people of Lagos. So I wish it's not a means of making money again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Aguma. We've got Sheyi Bello on Twitter who says, I think impeachment is a bit too harsh and it will create room for political chaos. At least a warning and reminder will be okay. I think 1 month is too short. At least 2 months will suffice. Sheyi, remember that at least for next year, elections are in February. So if we elect a president in February, she has between February and May to elect her cabinet. So if they now say, to pick her cabinet, if they're now telling you that by the time it's June 30th, you should have announced your cabinet, is that really too short a time? Think about it, She. What do you think? Huh? All right. If you just joined the show, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. 3 stories so far, and we're getting your thoughts on them. Get them via Facebook, via Twitter, via WhatsApp, and via the phone lines.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Sandra Ezekwesili. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. We've talked about the Kaduna State Government sacking striking nurses, as amongst other things happening with the Kaduna strike, Kaduna protests, Kaduna LLC situation. Then we talked about the Lagos State Government rolling out the new FLM buses. And then we talked about the bill in the House of Reps to impeach presidents who don't nominate ministers on time. Now, the major questions with those stories are quite simple, really, right? So one of the questions that we're asking is if you think that it's legal. I mean, that's a question for the lawyers to answer, really. Is it legal for the Kaduna State Government to sack striking nurses? Should the Lagos State Government have banned Okada and Keke before the FLM buses were ready? And should presidents be impeached for failing to nominate ministers within 1 month? Those are the big 3. Lagos, let's talk. 0700-993-993. That number is for the male callers. For female callers, 014657190. 014657190. And we've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hello, thank you for calling us.
Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mrs. Momodu.
Welcome, Mrs. Momodu. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, I want to talk about the Kaduna State Government.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he has done well.
Okay.
But the way he's supposed to do it, you can't work for 20 years, 25 years, or 10 years without settlement. It's not the best.
Okay.
For example, now go to this some of our local government in Lagos here. You see boys, they will gather trailer, 10, 50 of them. They will gather one trailer just to collect money. If you want to do anything in your house now, you go and buy a trip of sand. You see how they block the road. If you don't settle them, they will not allow the vehicle to pass. They said they are working for council. It's supposed to settle them. For the nurses, what of the patients in the world if the nurses go on strike? What of the patient? Because in part of the news, they said that there was a newborn baby who was on oxygen. They disconnect the oxygen, then the parents have to carry the child away. We have to think of life before thinking of money. If at all you want to serve those people, you should settle them. Not that we just lay them off like that. There is a way of doing things. So that's my contribution to the governor of Kaduna State.
All right, Mrs. Momodo, thank you very much for calling to contribute. Let's take a few tweets and then bring you business news and then switch gears to the glass ceiling. Chukwuemeka Chidebere says Governor Sanwo-Olu has misfired this time around. Did he carry out a detailed assessment of what his action will cause Lagosians? The mechanics that will be rendered redundant, the companies that will reduce their workforce, and finally, the idle hands that will find undesirable jobs to do. All right, Chukwebuka, thank you for your message. John Bosco Walemighty says, I think in a sane society, under normal circumstances, the president and his vice must be impeached for failure to appoint her cabinet members within a month. A normal president would have known those she wants to work with even before she gets to take the oath of office. John Bosco Walemighty, thank you very much for your message. More messages on Twitter. Okay. Anon says, I don't blame these politicians. They go abroad for treatment. Otherwise, will they have the guts to fire nurses? All right, Lagos. Let's bring you business news. After the business news, we will bring you the glass ceiling. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
The Supreme Court basically said the only type of registered
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.